had a roommate for 2 days, and now I'm back by myself again. Turns out she's a big snorer, and you actually sign a waiver before you come, asking if you snore, and you sign a waiver saying you don't, because there's different price ranges for shared rooms, single rooms, and whatnot. So if you snore, you have to get a single room. And either she didn't know it or overlooked it, but she snores, so she is now in her own room somewhere, and I wish her all the best. So I can post tonight from my room again. It's interesting because yesterday I was on such a high, and today I'm not. I actually have a lot of anger. And it doesn't help that the 2 nights that I did have a roommate and she was snoring, I didn't sleep well. So sleep is huge for me. It buffers so much. It buffers my ability to process, to perceive, to handle situations, to be rational. So I've been emotional today. And it's mostly been anger. It's ironic that I come to the most beautiful, peaceful, serene place and I discover anger, my feelings of anger. I don't normally admit to feelings of anger or even really have feelings of anger. In fact, I used to tell people, and I tell people a lot, like, I don't get angry. When they ask, are you upset or are you angry? No, I don't get angry. I get sad or disappointed. But I'm finding anger here. I'm reading this book. When the Body Says No. And exploring the stress disease connection, and not stress as in like I've had a really busy day or work day, or my school life back in Life University is busy or hectic. This is stress as in subconscious patterns that we came with or we inherited from our family genes or from our parents or the womb or upbringing that wreak havoc on our nervous system, our endocrine system, our immune system, that lead to these diseases, and the emotional role that goes into that. And this author, this doctor, interviewed people with cancer as part of the book. It's not the whole thing, and he took note of patterns that he saw with people with cancer. And one of the patterns is that they're people pleasers. And along with that comes the fact that they don't normally express physiological or physical pain, and they suppress anger, rejection, and sadness often. So that's some of the work I'm doing, is just allowing that to kind of bubble up, looking at it, not necessarily judging it, just trying it on for size, expressing it. I talked to my mom tonight, and I mentioned one thing at one point about something that made me angry that has to do with my family. And her response was, well, honey, understand where they're coming from and this. And I said, Mom, wow, I do that. That's my pattern. As soon as I start feeling upset or sad or rejected or angry, I immediately go into this suppression mode of, oh, but I get where they're coming from, because I really do. I can understand where people are coming from, and that might not be their true intention or how they meant it, or so that's how I suppress it automatically. And it was interesting because she did it, and so we were able to talk that through. I expressed that I didn't feel validated in that moment. Then I noticed that that's a pattern that she has too, and perhaps she was, she inherited it, or she learned it from her upbringing or something, but it was a good learning experience for both of us. But that's kind of an example of what I do, and it came up just in this conversation tonight with her. I'm learning to kind of walk that through. I'm also reflecting back on relationships, and romantic and with family and friends. How many boundaries or how much I concede to what they want or what I think they want, or what works more for them, ignoring what works for me. Because I'm fairly elastic, meaning I can give a lot without it. Because I love people, actually. And I have a compassionate heart, so I give. And I wanted to read part of this. This is from a guy that has cancer, and the author is interviewing him and talking to him about whether or not he says no at all. No, not is a no at all, but if he ever says the word no. And this guy says, what about since the cancer? Or the author says, what about since the cancer? And this guy said, I've learned to say no. I say it all the time. I want to live. I think saying no plays a big role in getting better. And I marked that page because it spoke to me. I say yes a lot, or not even verbally say yes, but just, oh, that works for you? Okay, then I'll go along with that. So a lot of patterns are coming out. I was angry earlier. I had a consultation with a therapist here, just an initial consultation, and he spent the whole time telling me why I should continue to do raw even after I leave here. And I was just sitting across from him thinking, this for you, this isn't for me. That's not what I need to hear right now. And I could just feel it. It was a 30-minute appointment, and man, he just kept going on and on and on, because we specifically about fruit. I talked about how it's hard not to eat the fruit, and how there's so many different cancer protocols out there, and some of them people eat the fruit and they heal themselves from cancer. So how there's not necessarily like one right way, or do you have to give up fruit for 2 years in order to heal from cancer? You know, that doesn't feel right. But that's what people do here. That's a protocol here. And he was like trying to convince me of that. And I didn't like that session. And it kind of I walked away and walked home thinking, he's a man. You know, he is entitled to his opinion. And these are people here that are running this place, and they're entitled to their protocols. And it's worked for thousands of people. So I'm not knocking it at all or complaining at all. I just know that there are other methods that have worked for thousands of other people that, you know, they don't have to be raw vegan, sprout, you know, living raw vegan. They can't eat cancer. They can't eat fruit and protein, animal proteins and stuff, and they heal. And it kind of was this train of thought that's been going on even behind my head anyway since I went to the temple last week and just reading scriptures and stuff. And that is that ultimately Christ is the healer. That is strong for me. The Lord is the healer. I'm not doing this so that the food heals me. I'm not doing this so that I heal myself, or the therapist heals me, or my journaling heals me. Those are my efforts that I'm bringing to the Lord, saying, this is my part that I'm doing. I'm trying to work through this. But He created the body. He created how it works, how it heals. And ultimately, it's up to Him in the end. And yeah, my faith is strengthening in that He's the healer. That I do these things so that I can clear what I need to clear and obey what I need to obey and work through what I need to work through and bring it up onto him and say, okay, Lord, I've done my part. I've acted in faith. Now I'm ready to receive the blessings from that, which is healing. And those are some things that have been on my heart today. And I'm walking through some anger, and I'm smiling about it, but it's coming.